Hey everyone, I'm Ermysenigma. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to a Monster Legends Let's Talk video. So you can just have this playing in the background. It's just gonna be me talking about the game, primarily about the game updates. And by now I imagine most of you have heard about the major change coming out in the next update, the combat change to possession, but we'll talk about this at the very end. Let's start with some other updated information and then we'll end on the possession change because I don't want to start by raging with the video, and I don't know, I actually think I might. I wanted to start off with the monster vaults, which was a huge thing that everyone was anticipating. Everyone was waiting for this. Myself, there was a point when I was going to sell off all of my little islands that don't have legendary habitats, my habitats. I was going to sell my fire habitats, my nature habitats, because I really didn't need them. My dark habitats, light, water. And I decided I'm just going to put legendary habitats everywhere and really focus on building my economy. Really focus on getting those gold farms going. But with the announcement of the monster vaults, I decided I'm going to wait. I'm not going to sell off anything. This monster vault is going to help out a lot of players. And it turned out to be terrible. Like, I still haven't even bought it. But from what I've seen, you get like 2 free slots to put monsters in there. And after that, you got to buy them with gems. And it's like 7,000 gems to buy all 150 slots or something like that, which is ridiculous. So Monster Vault, a huge disappointment. It didn't help out any players. It sucks that Social Point teased us for so long that they had a solution to this bad habitat problem, to not having enough space. They said there was a solution coming out. We finally got the solution. A lot of players defended them, saying just wait everyone, there's a solution coming. And gosh, it's so disappointing. So I said I didn't want to start off with possession because I didn't want to rage, but if I keep talking about Monster Vault, I'm probably going to rage. So that's going to be a topic of an entirely separate video because there's enough information on Monster Wiki and from people, and I need to purchase it. So Monster Vault we'll talk about later. Let's talk about something else, the Team Wars restriction improvements. So if you're passionate about Team Wars and bored of fighting with dragon, wing, spirits, and sea monsters all the time, we have great news for you. Starting next week, you'll have a wider variety of restrictions in Team Wars. Keep in mind, I'm doing this video pretty late, so already we're seeing some diversity in Team Wars. But I'm curious, like, they themselves knew they were giving us dragon, wing, spirits, and sea, like, all the time. Why? Where's the explanation on why they were doing that? It's nice that you're letting us know that there's going to be improvements, but what exactly was the reasoning? Why did you introduce Team Wars with books, promising diversity and everything, and then give us the exact same Team Wars over and over and over again? That makes no sense, especially Spirits. Spirits was one of the worst books for a long time. I mean, for someone like me that actually bought a Nemesis monster, I was able to take advantage of those wars, but for everyone else, that really unfair. But let's see what improvements they're doing. Rarities are coming back. Rarities will also include rare, epic, and legendary monsters. And so this is both a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing because more diversity. Yay. It's a bad thing because, well, rare and epic monsters, sometimes they're hard to keep alive, especially if you have, if you rank up a rare all the way to 105 to rank 5, that's great, but if the enemy has a level 130, a level 120, they're still going to be kicking your rare's butt, essentially. And overall, this makes it harder to win coins. And if you look at the team shop, the cost to get monsters now is a lot more than before. So, I don't know, like, I'm conflicted. I love having wars with more stuff, right? With more monsters, with rares and epics, because otherwise rares and epics are useless. But at the same time, I like getting war coins. So, I don't know, I'm a little... What do you guys think about this? I guess overall I do like it, but I hate that I'm going to be getting less war coins in future wars. We've added additional books to the mix. There will be restrictions based on underworld, mechanical, female, undead, good, evil legion, superheroes, families, and Team Wars books. Thank you. This should have been like that from the start, but thank you. And more variety. With this update, we will increase 10 times the number of possible restrictions that a Team War can have. We want elements and rarities to be a significant restrictions again together with books and create an enjoyable and exciting experience in Team Wars. Wow, I totally butchered that. But I guess all they're saying is we're introducing rarities and we're actually gonna add new books in. And so overall, I guess it's just great that we can finally start using more monsters that we have on our islands, on our habitats. Because after the PvP change, like, a lot of people aren't doing PvP at all. And if they didn't do these improvements, you wouldn't ever have a chance to use a monster. They'd pretty much all be there for gold. So this is great. But let's move on to the combat change, possession. So let's read through this and then I'll give you guys my thoughts. And of course I want to hear all of your guys' thoughts. So with version 5.8, we will introduce a change to how possession status works in the game. At the moment, AI monsters affected by possession would cast a random skill against its allies, making its status very strong against AI. But human monsters suffering from possession were able to freely choose which skill to cast, so they could avoid the possession essentially by casting recharge stamina or harmless skill. This doesn't seem like something a real possessed monster would do, Okay, I agree with that. With the change that we're going to introduce, the behavior of human monsters affected by possession will be exactly the same as the AI monsters. This means that they will be able to choose the skill and target randomly. Check below for more details. Okay, this will make monsters that use possession more valuable when using them on PvP and Team War's defense, and may grant an additional value to monsters that are immune to possession. Okay, I see where they're going with that. Possessed monsters will choose randomly one of the available options. If a skill is not available, such as a cooldown or not enough stamina, the skill won't be taken into account for the random pick. If in the possessed turn special skill is available, the skill will be taken into account for the random pick. Normally, a possessed monster will choose between any attack plus recharge, one of 5 available options. The random skill will target the opposite target. If originally the skill targets enemies, it will hit allies. If target hits allies, it will hit enemies. If a skill targets the caster, the target won't change, will work normally. So if you didn't understand what I said, the huge change going on is that now when you get possessed, you're not going to be able to use a self skill, you're not going to be able to recharge. All that's going to happen is your monster will automatically do a random skill, most likely against your team, or if it's a team skill, it'll boost the enemy. And so what does this mean? This means that possession is now the best deny skill, hands down. Nothing beats possession, especially for defense. Well, I'll get into this a little more, but first I do want to talk about one thing. This sentence I read, if in the possessed turn special skills available, the skill will be taken into account in the random pick. So from what I understand from this, if your monster has an ultimate skill, they won't automatically use the ultimate skill, it's still random. So maybe it'll be a 20% chance to use it, which from my experience, whenever an enemy monster or my monster, when I put auto battle, when they have their ultimate attack, they almost always use it. I think there's only been one time when they didn't use it. I don't even remember if that's the case. Maybe they've always done it. You guys can let me know what your experience is with auto battle and ultimate skills. But from my experience, they almost always use the ultimate skill. So can you just imagine, you get possessed, monster has an ultimate attack, you just ult yourself. You're as good as finished. This change, when you really start to think about it, it doesn't make any sense. It's just way too powerful. Like at first glance, you may be thinking, okay, that makes sense. You know, it's not fair that I can possess the AI and then the AI attacks himself, but when they possess me, I can recharge, I can do a self skill, I can do an extra turn skill, and I'm safe. That's not good, which is why on defense, possession was never as good as freezing or stunning. But now with this change, it leaves stunning and freezing way behind, and it makes certain monsters like god tier level monsters. The monster that should most notably come to people's mind is Hackster. This hamster is now going to be the go-to defense monster. He's going to be running 3 speedruns. If you have level 10 speedruns, 3 level 10 speedruns, if you can rank him up to 130, he's going to be 130. His teammates would probably have 3 level 10 team speedruns just to ensure that Hackster can go first. And why is that? It's because now that possession is a thing, now that you can't choose your own skill, now that it's going to be randomly selected, if that Hackster goes first and he hacks you, you have no defense against it. Because keep in mind, hacking bypasses immunity to possession. So you can bring 3 monsters that are immune to possession, it doesn't matter. You're still going to get hacked, you're going to have no control over them, and now they're going to attack themselves. And what's worse is that now your monsters attacking themselves, you might activate some other negative effect. You might give yourself burning, blind, ignition, stunning, freeze. Like, there's so many negative things that can go wrong now. And that's honestly just my biggest concern with this update. Originally I was thinking, you know, it won't be that bad. Hackster isn't mechanical, he's also a metal monster. We still have Timerion. So a 3-speed Hackster versus a 3-speed Timerion. Hackster can do his AoE hack, Timerion can do space time. So now even when your monsters attack themselves, you're not going to take any damage. But again, space time doesn't protect against negative effects. So you can still land something bad, you can still immobilize yourself for another turn. And then on the next turn, that Hackster still has an AoE stun, it still has another hack skill, it has a stop time. Like, he's seriously the ultimate defense monster now because of this change, because there's no way to counter him, with the exception of bringing a Baltic, which is what I think is going to happen now. The only way that you're going to be able to beat a Hackster team that is way faster than you is going to be to bring a Baltic, because even if you hack Baltic, sure, he attacks your team for 1 attack, and then you have full control over him, and then he can freely attack the enemy monsters. That's really your only guaranteed way to have some sort of chance against Baltic. So maybe a Timerion Baltic team combo, that's going to be really great for PvP for offensive purposes if Hackster's on defense. And then of course, if you're fortunate enough to have the other artifact monsters, Tankerion, Flamerion, you have some chance of fighting off that team. But if you're outsped, you really have little to no chance against just getting hacked. That's essentially my biggest concern. And that's just one monster. There's also Glitch, who has corruption. If you get corrupted, your monster will get triple damage, and now you have no control over him. You can't recharge, you can't do a self skill. Your monster is now going to have triple damage, and it's going to use the skill against your team. Imagine if it does an AoE with triple damage. your team is as good as dead. Like, you have no chance. What do you do at that point? So Hackster definitely is a huge threat now on defense, as is Glitch. And then also, for those of you that have Nishan's pet, that we're able to get a lot in the team shop, you're going to have an advantage because you're going to have a ranked up Nishan's pet. He has lots of possession skills, so that's not too bad because you could always just bring monsters that are immune to possession. So yeah, the value for monsters immune to possession, they went up. Monsters with possession skill, their value went up. But Hackster and Glitch, those that have those obscure possession skills, their value really went up. And because Hackster's value went up, then by default, to counter him, Baltic's value should also be going up. And I guess technically the other way to counter Hackster would just be to be faster than him, which would involve you activating your Rune Guardian. Yeah, you know, you bring a Hackster, your teammates have 3 team speed, and then you just hack his Hackster, hack the whole team. I guess you could do that, but yeah, for the most part, he's God tier now. There's no denying it. If they don't change hacking, if they don't change corruption and standardize it so they're just regular possession skills, he's just really hard to counter if you don't have the runes. If you don't have the monster levels at 130, it's just really difficult. If you don't have artifact monsters, if you don't have a Baltic, because if you have, like, even if you have a level 100 Baltic and it's a 130 Hackster you're going up against and the teammates are 130, there's a chance that those 130s go before your Baltic and then they just kill them off and then you really have no chance at winning. Oh my gosh, this change, it's not, like, I get what they were trying to do. I'm hoping that they kind of turn it down and just make it so you can't recharge, because then at least it's not as overpowered. So if let's say your monster gets possessed, let's say you just can't recharge, but you have to do a skill against yourself, then it'll still be strategic, right? If you don't have a self skill, you're still gonna have to attack your own team. If you do have a self skill, well that's great. That gives a lot of value to monsters that have self skills. But if you didn't equip the self skill, you're forced to attack yourself, which I think is fair enough. Or maybe you used the self skill on the previous turn, you get possessed, now you have to attack yourself. So I think that's the best way to implement a possession change. I seriously don't think that making it so it's a random skill that's just generated, that's the worst way, because it's way too overpowered in my opinion. As for positives to this change, I'm always open to changes. I like to see what effect they'll have on the game, but of course I'm just like foresighting what's gonna happen and seeing Hackster is just gonna dominate the game on defense. And I don't know, maybe I'm being too cynical about this, but I have talked to a lot of other players and immediately that was our #1 concern. Hackster is just gonna be a beast now. But those are my thoughts, those are some of their thoughts. But now let me know, what do you guys think about this change? Do you guys like this change? Do you not like this change? I know I was kind of negative about it. I didn't rage at least, so that's good. What do you guys think? Maybe if someone can shine some positive light up to this possession update, that would be really great, because I would love to hear the counter argument side. So with that being said, I'm Armor Gaming. Thank you all for watching, and like always, remember to dream big and pursue your passions.